Yes, that's the only thing. Hello, welcome back to our channel, Leo and Dave. And today we have a special guest, Maria. I'm gonna help her with some chart analysis. So, hello everyone, Happy New
Yeah.
Year. I think it's the first video of 2026. So, welcome back.
Yeah,
Hello.
we've been lazy, and Maria is our resident expert. She's stepping in.
Yes.
Say hello. Cool. All right. Uh,
We're starting
so
by Netflix today.
yes.
So Netflix and couple of
So
crypto, bitcoins. No, Netflix, the metal, gold, silver, and then we go to Bitcoin and then S&P.
yeah, it sounds like a good plan. So Netflix, we called the top. Where was it? It was around 125
115, I
ish.
think. 115, 120.
Something like that. Okay, so that's when we called the top, and we
No,
said
no,
that it's
no.
going
It
to
was
crash
it was around 120 here, probably. Or even 115. Let's say 115.
down there.
You
You
did.
think? Oh, around there. Okay, I
Yes,
think it
yes.
was
Was 115. You
So
did.
since then, it's down. Uh, yeah, yeah. So massive crash. But anyway, Maria, how you going?
I'm good. Thank you for having me this time.
Cool. Um, so you probably haven't looked at Netflix,
No,
but Netflix just went parabolic, and it just exploded, and
Let's look
then
on quickly.
it just went insane. Like, look at that, massive explosion. And so you can see like the top, and this is a massive crash. There's news out today, so I saw the news. Would you believe it? Donald Trump mentioned Netflix yesterday or the day before, and he said that he's going to step in and he's going to negotiate because Netflix is trying to get their hands on, I think it's Warner Brothers.
oh,
Did you
okay.
hear about that, Maria?
No, I didn't.
Leo, you heard about that, didn't you?
Yes, last year. Last year there was this transaction
Well,
for.
yeah, but Netflix won, and literally yesterday, Trump came in and said that he's going to step in.
Yes.
Trump's going to step in. This is crazy. So you can see it. Like, if you were to zoom in, it's kind of gone sideways a little bit, but I think we're going down to 60 now because Trump's going to destroy this stock even more. Because if they don't win this bid for Warner Brothers, then the company's in more trouble. So
You
anyway,
remember
I'm
we say
calling.
it's gonna go to 40.
I'm well. I'll at least call 60. Or where's the top there of that last peak back in 2023? So I'll call that.
61, 67 here.
So if anyone was following us and they followed us into this short, they made a bit of money.
Oh,
And yeah, we killed it. Look at it. It went directly down. You can't beat that. Are we just going to move forward? This is my baby, by the way. So
okay.
this
Let's
is
move
my
to silver.
silver. Have you
You
been?
remember when I say 100 for silver? Wow, it went to 120. And you said to sell the day before. You remember?
Yeah. 29th of 29th. Yeah,
Of
I
January.
actually had a meeting today with some gold bugs, and I was like, "Did you see this?" Also, Leo and Maria, you're both in the group, by the way. You're both in the signals, so you can see the chat, the call.
Wow.
Mm. So look at silver. Like, do you guys have anything to add? Because I was talking in the last one. Silver's been destroyed.
Now it's being destroyed when it went up so much. I haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
So 20 days. It's been 20 days ish since it crashed.
Yeah.
What will you do, Maria? Will you buy? Will you sell? Or will you wait?
Well, I think right now that it's going down, I will buy.
Yeah.
No? What will you do?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. So if you can you go way back, Leo? Can you like go way back where it shows the two peaks that it went to? Yeah, they're 50, aren't they? Both of them are 50, 50 and then 50. So it's
I
like
think I will wait a bit because when the correction starts, it takes a while, and this 120 is a peak because it went from $15 to 120 multiplied by 8. So I will wait a bit before taking any position.
Yeah, I don't have a call, but like are you, Maria? What the one thing that I would take into account here is that what is it, 2011, and then 2000 and or 1980.
1979.
Where's it?
79.
79. So that's almost 79. That's almost back when Bretton Woods ended, or they ended the
Yes.
gold standard. So, like, is something like that happening now and they're not telling us? You see?
Okay.
Because we don't, because what happened in 2011, is that after the global financial crisis? 2008?
Yes, and there was this tension in the AU. So people were scared that the AU will explode at the time. How to say, Italy, Spain, Greece, they were very into debt, and the market was scared of the explosion of the AU. So then I think
So,
they protected, but whatever.
so is this a reaction and we just haven't heard the news? Is this because globalization is ending? Is this because we're in a multipolar, you know, China's rising and Russia's rising? Or
You mean the market going up?
well, look at where it is. It's ridiculously high. Like there's something serious, because this is just basic pattern recognition. End of Bretton Woods, global financial crisis, and now we've got a spike that is double the size. So, yeah, is my Wi-Fi working okay? Like,
Yes, we can hear you there. Obviously, there is something behind the wall.
So, what is going on right now? That's the thing, for it to be double the price. Is it just speculators? What is behind this? Is something serious happening? So the other thing I would think, so Maria said maybe buy it there. The reason why I would think that might even be a good move is, can you see the distance between 1980 and 2011? That's what, 30 years.
Yeah.
What's the distance between 2011 and now? It's 10 years. So that's like, like 66% faster. So what happens if it goes sideways and dumps and does another loop, and we take another 66 off, and in the next 3 years it pumps again? I'm just doing pattern recognition.
Okay. So we need to always do pattern recognition.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, Leo's more of a professional than I am, so he but I'm more of a, he's the professional. I'm more like pattern recognition, and I do things that are a little bit yeah, I have my own ideas. So far, they've been paying off quite well, but you can see you both can see what I mean when I'm looking at this. Like, does that make sense to you guys, or am I just like not?
Yes. You think that the cycle is not going to be only so?
Let me.
It's not the 14 years. We are at the mid of the
Okay.
cycle. So
You can see that too, Maria, right? So it's like it's at 30 years, and then 10 years.
I can't
Basically.
hear you.
Oh, really? You
Hello?
can't hear? We can hear you.
Mm,
We can hear you.
can you hear
can't
me?
hear you.
Can you hear me?
Maybe you're.
Yeah, now I can.
Oh, okay.
Hello back.
Okay. Yeah, something happened. Are you using earphones?
I'm not.
No. So, okay, so for guys at home as well, if anyone watches this, it's 30 years, and then
After maybe the cycle is accelerating because of the globalization and the how to say the financiarization. So before only few people will speculate on gold and silver. Now everybody, even a grandma, can buy gold and silver. Like everybody can open how to say a trading account, and a teenager can still buy gold and silver. So the speculation level is not the same. Obviously, the cycle is not going to be the same. I know what you mean, Dave, with like a story repeat itself, and but
I'm thinking that this is like the end of the American empire and the dollar. That's what I'm kind of getting at here, is that it was 30 years, and then the next one, well, it's actually technically 15 years, so it's halved. It's not it wasn't like 66. It was basically
So,
like,
what are you saying? That the dollar is going to an end, and what it's gonna rise?
well, the way I see it is that it doesn't just go in a linear fashion. There'll be like a pump that will break the dollar one step at a time. And I think the 1980s was one break, and then they had to go off the gold standard. And then the second one was the global financial crisis that broke America's financial system again. And now, 15 years later, which is, see the gap. So Leo, can you like point it out? There's 30, that's 30 years. That arrow was 30 years between the two pumps. And then there's another 15 years until the last pump. This pump right now, 2025, 2026, that's technically 15 years. So it's half the rate. So between now and the next pump, if you halve it again, 7 years.
so
In the next 7 years, we'll go to 200.
if it was the same, maybe more. It could be more because there are more people involved. So
No, I mean, like, you can see it's shortening. So the first one was 30 years on the left. Second one's 15 years. So between 2026 and it'll be
I think we
7
go to a correction and we do like
So 2033, we could have the next one.
So we do like something.
So the first, so you put 30 years in. Yeah,
correct a bit. And
yeah,
then
we don't
go,
know where.
And then we
go
to,
up again, yeah.
Yes. So we could even go to test the previous stop, which is $50, and then going for the moon.
Yeah, so 2033. If it's the same pattern, so it'll be 2033, 2034, and then it skyrockets off again. So it's 30 years, 15 years, and then 7 to 8 years.
So last cycle, let's say we have been at the top. It took 15 years, and let's say it took 15. It took the 2/3 to correct. So this one will, if we follow what you say, instead of having 15 years, we will have, let's say, 9 years. So we go for 6 years of correction and then 3 years of.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it
the
will
top.
bring us. It will bring
I
us
mean,
to like this.
We're just looking at the tops. So the top in. Does that make sense, Maria? Does that make sense to both of you guys?
Yes.
So what's that? 1980. Let's just say 1980, and then it's 2011. Basically, let's just say 30 years, and then 15 years between 2011, 15, 16 years between 2011 and 2026. And then 7, 8 years, that's 2034. And 2034 it's been that long, that's that long-standing prediction that I've had since for the last decade, that will be the end of the American Empire, 2034, actually.
Is that a good sign or not a good sign?
Well, we're going to have to move. We're going to have to move. but there's a lot of signals that the end of the American Empire will be 2033, 2034. They won't have any military bases outside of the Americas. That's my take on it. And silver's kind of signaling the same thing. Do you guys want to say anything? That's my take. That's my take on that. 2034.
So last month was the top. And
yeah.
It's not. So then it's not the right time to buy. Maybe for a short-term trade, then we can go back to $100. But
well, you can see on these last two peaks, it went sideways.
Yes, and then it's going back a bit.
And then dumped again, and it's a massive correction. The last two pumps, 1980 and 2011, massive correction. What are the percentages from the top to the bottom on that?
Oh, we did the calculation. I forgot.
So it could be. So Maria might be right here, where it's just like you can see there's a massive correction on both of them, and then there's a short-term pump before it totally collapses again, and it just goes sideways forever.
And what if he does like this, Dave, like to the moon? What if he goes like this to 300? Maybe we are just at the start and we're going here 500.
Well, I think, yeah, the point where we're at now is as high as it's going to get, because you see, silver is very important for the military, and there's an arms race around the world at the moment. But 2034. But does that make sense to you guys? Like, did I pitch a good case why I think it will be 2033, 2034 will be the next peak in silver? And it will be kind of...
Okay. So until 2030, it's gonna go up again?
I think so. I think 2033, 2034, based on the pattern and geopolitics, and the end of the American Empire. I think they're all correlated.
So what year do you think the American Empire is going to end? What year?
2033, 2034.
Oh, wow.
So we've got two more financial bubbles I think now we're in a correction phase. In the next 2-3 years, we'll have another good pump.
Yeah.
So that's why I think right now we're waiting for the bottom of Bitcoin. You see, I think, and then around 2030 will be the next top in Bitcoin, maybe approximately. And then 2033, 2034 will be the last financial bubble when I think the United States will have to negotiate their way out of the American empire and go home, basically, like Britain did.
Go on. I don't understand. Go where?
So America's got military bases everywhere.
Yes.
And I think all of those bases will have to go home. And that's why they're protecting Israel so much right now, because they're going to have 2 military bases, Israel and in America. And there won't be, I don't think there'll be any military bases in Asia at all.
Where do they have in Asia right now? I don't know.
Oh, everywhere. They got military bases all over Australia, the Philippines, secretly in Taiwan, Japan, South Korea. They might have.
In Japan?
Yeah, Japan is a colony of the United States.
It's a colony?
Yeah, Japan's been a colony since they lost the war in World War II, and same as South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea. But the thing is that I was just there in South Korea and Japan this past October, and I could see that South Korea for sure, but not really Japan.
Well,
Japan, like South Korea, you see gringos everywhere, but like not persons, but things, places, business. But in Japan, you don't see any.
So Japan is the most important colony that the United States has, to be honest.
Why?
Because they're the most productive economy.
Yes.
And they've got the yen carry trade, which means that basically the United States just feeds off Japan's economy and basically steals money out of it. So, South Korea is definitely a colony. Japan, it's hard to say exactly where Taiwan is. They're a little bit confusing. Philippines is a colony.
You should go the other way around. You should say who is not a colony.
Yeah.
And you have only Russia, China, and maybe a few African countries, but everybody else is a colony.
Well, no, because Vietnam, Cambodia's a colony at the moment. It seems to be acting as a colony of China. Thailand is independent. Malaysia's independent. Indonesia's independent. Australia and New Zealand, they act as colonies, but there's a lot of leadership. You see, Australia's got independence because we're so far away. Canada's a colony.
You're still a colony, Australia.
Mexico colony? Yes.
Sorry?
If they
Mexico?
Yeah, I was going to say that Mexico's a colony. The new leader, that lady was put in power. She's a puppet of the United States, and Mexico they tried to replace China's factories with Mexico to manufacture cheap goods for the United States. So Mexico 100% is a colony.
El Salvador?
You see, I haven't really looked into it. I don't really know what's going on with El Salvador. Like, obviously, Javier...
I'll tell you, El Salvador is a China colony.
No, come on.
Yeah.
No.
Sure. They just made the National Library in El Salvador.
Is it the country of Nayib?
Yes, of Nayib Bukele, exactly. They are doing now, they're building the biggest stadium of all Central America. They already built the biggest and most beautiful library of all Central America. And yeah, so it's a Chinese colony, El Salvador.
No,
Yeah.
no. So China's trying to make friends, but they don't control the politics.
No, okay. Oh.
Do they control the politics?
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know because there's so much that they're doing so much things in El Salvador. So yeah.
See, this is what China was doing in Venezuela. They were buying a lot of oil. That's why the United States went in and destroyed their economy. One of the largest ports in all of South America is in Peru. That was built by China, and that's them trying to make friends, basically. There was another country in Central America. I forgot the name of it because I'm so far away. I'm focused on Asia, but between Mexico and
Guatemala.
What's that country where China was heavily involved, and then as soon as Donald Trump got into power, which one?
Guatemala.
They have like a port there, and it's kind of near Mexico, kind of near Colombia in the central part.
Panama.
And is that where? That's where
there's
some billionaires got involved and they bought the port.
Panama. Yeah.
Okay, the Panama Canal.
Yes.
And China basically built it, and then the United States stepped in and took it, I think. Something like that. So that's China trying to give soft power, because technically China is, their economy, from my point of view, is double the size of the United States. The United States has become the Soviet Union. They have to use guns because they don't have the economy and the soft power anymore.
Yeah.
Let's go back to gold. Let's go back to
okay,
gold.
Let's go back to the stock market.
I love this. I love history and I love this.
That's actually, Maria, this is the thing that I focus on, is geopolitics. That's what we were talking about, geopolitics.
Well, I love it.
This is the expert here. Dave is the expert. Anyway, back to gold. So here, gold is at $5,000. And I think it's time to get out, no?
Well, I think it was January 29.
It's never too late to do
January 29 was the time to get out. So
it's still green in monthly basis, by the way. I don't know if it's a trick of manipulators or.
Yeah. So this obviously pumped the same as silver, didn't it? So it had 1980, 2011, the same thing.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So Maria, this is basically, okay. When you look at Bitcoin, when Bitcoin goes up and down, Ethereum just follows. Yeah. And all of the altcoins follow. So gold is Bitcoin of the metals. So when gold dumps, silver dumps. Often copper dumps, palladium, platinum, they all dump too. Yeah. So, but then they're like the altcoins to gold, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
So
makes sense.
But it didn't just hit 50 and plateau, did it? This thing's just going higher. Like, people are holding this one.
You mean 5,000?
Well, you see, with the silver one, it went 50, 50, and then skyrocketed. But since Bretton Woods, 1980, people have been holding, haven't they? You can see it on the chart. They've been holding.
Gold by silver?
Oh no, we don't need to do that. No, we can just see it on the chart there. Like, you can see people aren't selling gold, are they? They're kind of holding it, and that would be countries, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would be China.
China,
by the way,
Russia.
By the way, I haven't checked it in a few days, but it's been over a month since the United States stopped showing the data on their treasuries. So we don't know. We don't know how many treasuries China sold. There's I think it's Japan holds the most treasuries, and now Britain. Britain's technically acting as a colony itself.
So you mean China has less treasuries than the UK now?
Yeah.
When did they sell?
It was they were so the first 2 weeks of this year, all of the data showed China dumping hard, and then the website stopped showing it anymore. I think it was the 11th of January. So it's been over a month. They haven't shown any data, as if the United States doesn't want anybody to know that China doesn't hold any treasuries anymore. We don't know because we don't have the data, and China's not going to tell us. So
what do you mean by treasuries?
So
Bonds.
well, bonds, whatever. Basically, if you're a country like China and you hold treasuries, and then you're basically giving money to the United States, and then you're loaning money to the United States. You give $1 trillion to the United States, and then the United States promises to give you back 4% interest on that, and they pay the interest every year so that they can use your cash. And if the United States has the only stock market in town, basically you've got nowhere else to put your money. And this is partly why China's going around doing business everywhere. They're almost building things in countries all around the world at a loss just to try to keep people employed. But the United States loans it, and it's about 4%. So this is why when the United States talks about their debt, and their debt just hit $1 trillion, $1 trillion per year, I think it is.
For the debt of United States?
Just to pay back the interest on the debt. Insane amount of money.
Let me understand. So the debt that United States has with China?
Well, it's all of the countries combined. So the biggest...
the first one is Japan. Japan.
Yeah.
So
UK.
They have 1.2 trillion of US Treasury.
Yeah.
So you are right. They're a colony of the US.
Well, yeah. Like we know that, but yeah, Japan, 1.2 trillion, and Britain is buying to cover what China is selling. China's now number 3. And then you go down the list and you calculate how many countries are holding treasuries, and that's the total of what the United States owes. So 1.2 trillion the Japanese holding treasuries, and then I think it's every month, or I don't know exactly how, every month or every couple of months they have to pay Japan interest on their loan, and every other country. So that's where the United States, that's their debt. And the thing here is, the reason why, because you probably look at it and think, well, why is anyone giving the United States money and just taking 4% on that
money?
Because
they print the money, so they don't need to borrow from anyone else.
Maybe because they want peace, they don't want to receive bombs in their head.
Well, yeah, that's another thing too. So yeah, like they can, okay, so you both have a very good point, is that, you know, they can print their own money, but it'll be hyperinflationary, wouldn't it? So they need someone to hold a large amount of US dollars. And so when it's only 4% and we don't know what the inflation rate is, you see, this is the game where Japan, UK, and China are probably making a loss when they calculate inflation. But so that's right, because they can print it. So Maria's right, and Leo's right, because if you don't give them money, they will probably shoot you, and they'll probably Venezuela you. You see? So that's the game. And
in 2013, they used to have 1.4 trillion, the Chinese, of the American. And in November, they were having 600 billion. But since November, they sold, so they probably have much less than 600 billion.
Well, this year they started selling hard, so hard that data that you're looking at is 5 weeks old. So it hasn't been up 5 weeks. Every day I would check how much China's selling off. Like they would sell, like, in some days they would sell 30 to 80 billion or more. Like they were selling off hard. So we don't know China. We don't know how many treasuries China holds now, because they're not showing us the data. The same way they're not checking Fort Knox to tell us if the United States has any gold. So we don't know what's happening with the United States economy at all at this point. So
what about gold? Is it time to hold? Is it time to?
Well, again, I think it's the same cycle. I think gold will then go parabolic in 2033, 2034. Same cycle. What you can see the time frame between the pump between there and there. What's that time frame?
32.
So 32, and then the time frame between there and there. How many years is that?
14.
14. So 7 years. 2033. 2034. So the pattern in the chart is correlated to geopolitics. So my understanding of the world through geopolitics really helps with the stock market, actually. It helps more than anything else.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can see it. So the first one was, did you say 30? How many years again? Sorry. The first one, 30.
One was 32. 32.
32.
32 years.
32. Yeah, it's exact. The pattern is exact. It's almost like we live in a simulation. Like it's exactly what how many times do we see this? It is like we live in a simulation. It is exactly how it's a simple pattern. But
I don't know what simulation is doing here, but
well, yeah, then go, what is that? Okay, you put in the, but then gold should go down and then go sideways again, and that would be a buy signal for people, and then skyrocket off again 2031, 2030, 31. It'll take a few years, and then we don't know where it will be. It'll definitely, it might half, go to 3,000 maybe, and then skyrocket off again. And this also, I think, is correlated to Bitcoin. I think the end of Bitcoin, I don't know, might end in 2034 as well. They're all kind of correlated to me. So the next 10 years, if this plays out, we'll just get rich in the next 8 years. Piece of cake. But so, yeah, anyway, yeah. Maria.
Yes.
This is your wheelhouse. This is your wheelhouse.
Wheelhouse? What is that?
Your speciality.
Ah.
Bitcoin on a monthly basis.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Mm. What are those boxes? Is that from last time?
Yes.
What
So
were we
here it
doing?
was. This was the pattern before the top,
Okay.
and we were trying to reproduce the pattern after the top in 2021. So it was
Ah,
this.
yes. Yeah.
If you remember, it was the same pattern.
Yeah.
So it was these
Can
things
you
here.
see that, Maria?
Yeah.
You can see, like, what if it repeats what happened in 2021? That means we pump from here for 2 or 3 months and then we crash and we live in a simulation again. It's insane. What do you think, Maria? Don't let us taint you with our crazy ideas. I
Okay.
can't.
I
We lost her, no?
Hello? Did we just lose her right? Oh,
yeah.
there.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Okay. So I
She's like,
truly believe it's gonna go down more, of course. But to be honest, I don't know how much more.
yeah, like when I'm looking at it, how many months since we hit the peak? So when we hit 20,
October.
100,
So it's been October, November, December, 4 months and a half.
so 124K, you can see like we've crashed, and then can you see the half point where we kind of went sideways a bit? Leo, can you zoom in on that? The half point, just the last like
Here?
3, 4, 5 months. Yeah. There's like can you zoom in there? We kind of went sideways a little bit and then we double dumped there, like halfway. Can you use your cursor to like zoom into halfway
Like
and
this?
just point it? Yeah, see there's the little candle.
Yeah.
No, just put the cursor in the middle.
Okay, here.
No, the
On the right
last
side?
say 3 months.
Okay, here.
Yeah, see there's four red candles, 5 red candles. In the middle, there's the little tiny one in the middle, that one there. That's where we went sideways. And then we dumped again.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will repeat again. But anyway. So Maria, you think we'll just crash even further from here?
From where? From where?
So like, yeah, I agree we're going to go lower. But another thing I do with Bitcoin, I know Bitcoin is smaller, so it can be manipulated easier. And when it's smaller and less money can move it, there's people that want to manipulate the market. And it's like Sam Bankman-Fried 4 years ago with FTX. And I think now, because it's so low, if I was manipulating the market, I would give retail traders some green candles now. And then I would get the mainstream media to say Bitcoin's going to 200K and that we're going to go into a super cycle, and get all the YouTubers to come out and say that this is going to go to the moon, and then suck in what is left of the market and then dump and steal their money with one more crash in the next, say, 3 months. You see what I mean? Like how this is how it kind of works. What do you guys think? I'm doing all the talking.
Bitcoin is always going where nobody think is gonna go except Dave. But yes, the market has already crashed a lot, so it's like half almost since the top. So you can always go down. Yes, you can. Yes. Yes. Are we here? Like, if we compare to the collapse of 22, are we in this candle or are we
I think with
here?
the two green candles right there, those right there, that's where we are. I think we're about not that one. Go back
What?
there. I think that's where
Yes.
we are. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So maybe we have a little bit up.
Yeah.
It can be even 30% up. And then, yes, we could do this.
But actually, let Maria. I want to hear your analysis. We shouldn't have spoke. We should have let her go first. Actually.
No, that's what I like. What I said is what I think. I think it's gonna go more down, but I don't know how much more, and I don't know when it's going to go up. But like you said, like I think Bitcoin is easily to manipulate, and of course, it's like only one that it's very unique. Like it's unique in everything else. So. I think
Okay.
it can go up anytime. I think you cannot in this
Predict.
specific case. Yeah, you cannot see like on the past how it has been working, because I think this is a little bit more unpredictable. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Whoa. Let's check my phone.
Yes, it's difficult to make how to say forecast. Is there still the rules of the 4 year cycle? So then we are on a bear market, but like Dave mentioned, you can manipulate this asset, and obviously, if you can, it means people will do, and they will bring the price where nobody wants. So many people want a low price to enter, like you, Dave. So if people want a low price, they will not give it to you easily, or you will have to wait longer.
Yeah.
Okay, so for both of you, this will help you to get your thoughts in order. When?
When?
Like, give me a time frame.
Yeah.
To the bottom-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the bottom is next year. So
Next
27.
year. Next year.
So the
Maria, time frame?
Huh?
Time frame?
When it's gonna hit the bottom?
It depends. If we have a big collapse in the next quarter, then is the bottom, because it will means we went down very fast.
But what do you
So
mean bottom? Zero? That's what you mean with bottom?
no, the lowest. It means 40, 50, 60.
14, 16.
Like 2022, where did we go? 15,500. So that was the bottom.
Yeah, in 2023, it was still 15.
Oh yeah, 2023. Yeah. So the bottom. So where is the next bottom where we can buy the exact bottom? That's the question.
No, it can be the end of this year, because look, let's say November 21 was the top. The bottom is November 22. So if history repeats itself, October, so maybe November 22 or October 20, no, October this year or November this year. So it could be the end of this year if history repeats itself.
Yeah, and I think more people need to be demoralized. You see?
What do you mean by demoralized?
So there's a lot of people that are still holding profits because they kind of sold near the top. They kind of did okay. And the media needs to step in and convince them somehow that we're going back to 124 and that the alts have been worn down and now's the time to buy. And I was looking on Twitter and YouTube, and there's a bunch of these big channels saying that we're going to skyrocket. And if you, let's just say you buy now and then there's a big collapse and you get caught and you lose a lot of your profits that you've been saving up over the last, say, 4 years since the bottom, then you're seriously demoralized. And then that's when the market kind of collapses and it loses all of its volatility. And you can see 2022, 2023, it just went sideways forever because nobody wanted to play with it anymore. You see? Like full on demoralization of the market. And I don't think we're there yet. I think there's another trick coming. This is where, like, if you're manipulating the market, and you're thinking, okay, how can I get more cash out of these people? You switch on all of the influencers, you switch on the mainstream media, and everyone goes bullish, and then you get maybe 10% more out of it. You get us up to, I don't know, and then you dump it again overnight, just a flash crash, and then you take all of the cash that the people bought in over the last, say, two months.
So
Also,
you mean we go like what to say? Give me 1 second. We do a bit of going back here, going back to 200. Let's say even 100, just 100 to make people happy, and then we crash like this.
And you crash fast so that you can steal the money fast. This is why there's the crashes, because nobody sees it coming. You see, you're holding, you don't have time to react, and it's just like bam in your face, and you lose 10, 20% overnight.
50%. 50%.
50%, yeah. Like you see it in the chart. Yeah. It grinds green, and then they dump it in your face because you don't have time to move. You're sleeping while it happens, or you're at work.
So something like this.
Yeah.
Even 100.
In 2021, it did the same thing. See the two green candles in? Can you put a box around or just like circle the two green candles in 2021? 2021, 2022, it did the exact same thing. If this happens again, we're living in the Matrix. We're literally living in a simulation. If it happens the exact same way.
Yeah.
You mean these things?
Right there, those two green candles, that was sucking people in and then dumping on them and stealing their cash. And then there's full on demoralization. And then what is that? 3 months of red candles. Just 3 months of just blood in the markets. Yeah, and you can see it. It's just all the way through 2023. And then it went sideways, and you can see right at the bottom, it had one more dump to 15K. There. Who would have expected that after all of the trauma? It did it again. So I think if we can try to, I don't want to be too arrogant. I think we're gonna pick the bottom easy. I think we got this. Yeah, I think we got this. I think it will be quite easy to pick the bottom or close to the bottom. But right now, sorry, yeah.
But when exactly?
Sorry?
When exactly?
Oh. Well, you can kind of see where we are and just count out the months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, like the end of this year. But the thing is, if you see the bottom of 2022, 2023, if you have a close look at that bottom, it really, like, it doesn't matter that much. You see,
Yes,
if you bought it at
even
20,
in July.
25,
Guys, I'm sorry, I have another meeting at 11, so
okay,
I will have to
all
go.
good.
Okay.
Okay, you going now?
Yeah, it's 10:50
Alrighty.
for me. So yeah, I'll see you soon again.
See you.
See you later. It was fun. We solved the market.
Yeah,
It's
we
been
did.
solved. It's
Okay.
been solved. Piece of cake.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. See you later.
See you.
That was fun to have another person there.
We should invite someone every time.
Yeah. But you see, 2022, 2023, if we just, even if you buy in, not there, 2022, 2023 at the bottom after the 21 run.
Let's look at 2017, how long it took.
Oh, yeah.
So
I did this before, and it's quite accurate.
20, so it's like 12 months, 13 months. So again, so 13 months here. So October, 13 months. Yes. So if we go to 13 months, pardon, it will bring us to November, December this year. Maybe one more month, to scare people out, or one less month. So either that accelerate because people know that it's going to be 13 months and you arrive just 1 month early, but it's going to be the same. You understand?
Yeah. And if you look at 2023, 2022, 2023, like if you're buying in at 25K or 15K,
Yes.
like
Yes,
in
it's
the
same.
bigger picture, like you don't have to pick the exact bottom, really.
As soon as you bought, if you bought at 25 and you sell at
Yeah.
at 100,
Well,
you
no,
multiply
March.
by 4.
No, you got to sell March 2024
No.
because then everything decimated, remember?
Yes.
So at the bottom of 2022 at about 25K, before it hits the bottom, I bet most of these alts are already destroyed. You see? So if you buy an alt at that point, you're good. Even if
But
Bitcoin.
I agree with you on something that you told me. I don't remember when you told me this long time ago. That maybe one day Bitcoin will not come back. Like, how to say, like, what if we go to a real depression, and maybe next, so to say, bubble is the end. Like I say, let's say we do something like.
Well, it is possible that in the next 4 years the top is 125. You see?
We go back like this.
Yeah, it's possible that we don't even crack 125 in the next 4 years.
Yes, is what I was telling.
Yeah.
What if we do like a M? So we do like something for your 33. You like the 33. What if we go back one day to? What if we go back one day to 15?
The people who bought Bitcoin at like $100, those people are already starting to sell off. Like the old accounts are starting to sell off, and that's what would take us down there. And that would mean, look.
What if
Okay,
AI? What if AI is taking job of a million people? And what if people that have Bitcoin lost their job with AI? Oh, yes, lost their job with AI. Why they will keep Bitcoin? They will sell at some stage. And
yeah. Well, I'd say a large percentage of people just lose money in playing with crypto in general, anyway. But it's likely. It's so the end goal, I would say, is that around the same cycle end, 2023, 2033, 2034, that cycle, that could be the end of Bitcoin, where Bitcoin does what PayPal did, what it dumps and then just goes sideways forever.
Yes,
20
and what tell you that the next generation, because our generation was very into this, what tell you that the next generation after, even if the new people are buying crypto, what tell you that the next generation is into this? Like maybe they will all get wrecked and give up and.
Okay, well, this is another scenario. So there's going to be a massive wealth transfer for the millennials and whatever, where the boomers and the Gen Xers start dying off and handing down trillions of dollars to the next generation. Now, they're not going to be holding it in like stocks, retirement stocks. They're going to start looking for something more creative. And it's highly likely that those people might start buying Bitcoin.
The new
So
millennials?
the millennials and whoever, their parents start dying off and they inherit trillions of dollars. There is a possibility that those people start storing their wealth in Bitcoin instead of property or gold. That is a possibility.
Yes,
But
but
it's like,
when they're gonna lose 50% overnight, they will
but it's
fast.
but that's, I'm just giving you the scenario. I'm not saying that they're
Yes, yes,
smart
yes, yes.
traders. They're probably not, and you can see a lot of people lose money as well anyway. So they might do that and lose money anyway. So but that's, I think it's more likely that Bitcoin is finished in 2033, 34. And that's it. And they just sell it off, milk it for whatever's left of it. It disappears forever. And the only thing left will be Tether. Tether and some gas fees like TRX or BNB or something like that. So that you can move it around, Solana, whatever. XRP will go to zero, Cardano and the rest of them. Yeah, I think that's highly likely, actually. And the only thing left will be stable coins, and the United States just turns the whole thing into stable coins, and then it's just the US dollar again. But that will be,
This it
that will,
means the US survive.
well, not really, because it's not enough money, and it's not enough money to really.
Did you see the email where the famous guy was trying to meet the founder of Bitcoin?
No.
There is one email where I need to check, but I think he was talking about meeting the founder of Bitcoin.
Satoshi.
We don't have how to say. There is no name on it, but I will need to check. But there was a famous email where he was he say, "Oh, I meet the founder of Bitcoin" or something like this.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's possible because we don't know who is Satoshi, so maybe who knows.
Yeah, I think Epstein had a role to do with Bitcoin as well, and I think anyway.
Now it makes sense.
So we can play with it. It's okay. We can still play with it. We can still make money with it. It's okay.
What do you want to watch?
S&P, yeah,
Yes.
S&P 500. Now this is probably the most important one now, actually. Let me turn the kettle on.
Wow. Look. It's insane.
Yeah, so the S&P, the S&P 500 is like one of the most important ones.
It's always going up, this one.
So can you just that's don't do that. Just like maybe the last year or last 5 years, maybe just the last year. You can see that dump, that crash there. Yeah. We got April 7th. I'm still proud of that call, April 7th. So you can see on the chart. So if the S&P starts dumping, then everything goes with it, you see.
Insane. It's not going down, the S&P, like
well, the S&P is technically inflation. So if the S&P skyrockets, they say that if you were holding stocks in Zimbabwe when hyperinflation kicked in, you became a trillionaire overnight. So
yes, but minus inflation.
The S&P, if it really takes off and doesn't have any corrections, then that's evidence that the United States is collapsing.
They're hiding the inflation.
The S&P is the inflation, isn't it? And the April 7th collapse, you see, that's healthy. That's evidence that hyperinflation hasn't kicked in. So now what we're looking at is we're trying to figure out what's going to happen now, because if the S&P dumps, a lot of the bot traders step in, and when the S&P gets some red candles, gold and Bitcoin will dump at the same time. You see?
Can you believe it's like 40% since the correction?
Yeah. Bought the bottom, called the top. Well, not the top. We don't know where the top is, but like called a sale on it as well. So that was a good move. April 7th through to kind of the top. But now, okay, so you haven't been checking the S&P, have you?
No.
So the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, they're directly correlated. When one moves, they all move. And on April 7th, they were all at the bottom. The same as the Australian stock market, everything, all the indices worldwide.
Of course.
So the S&P is basically the Bitcoin to every stock. It's Bitcoin to the broad market, the world market, basically. So if
this is the 500, the biggest market cap, the S&P, is it correct?
Yeah, the S&P is basically the Bitcoin of stocks. So when the S&P moves, everything else moves with it. Generally, most things will move with it. And so the S&P, I think we might get some more green candles here, and then we will roll over. I think that's what might happen. I think this is, and then we will probably have a good correction moving into the new Fed chair, because Jerome Powell's his contract's going to end in the next 2-3 months. Do you know what month?
No.
So I think it's, I don't know, the next 2 or 3 months his contract ends, and
I will check.
And then the new Fed chair, who Donald Trump chose because he will drop interest rates, I think the market will start selling off when he comes in, and then he'll have an excuse to lower rates hard. Something like that is possible. And
we're going to watch again the minute.
Yeah, I think we're going to watch. I think we should. I definitely we should do that when the new Fed chair comes in. But also, I think this year is just going to be us watching the market melt down, and we're trying to figure out where's the bottom on all of these things. Where's the bottom of the S&P? Where's the bottom of the stocks? Where's the bottom of Bitcoin? I don't think we'll hit the bottom in the metals, though. It might take 2 or 3 years for the metals to grind down, actually.
Yes, I think gold and silver are good for a little. When things go up too fast, generally they take a while to correct. But this S&P, I don't know, you call it inflation. You know that inflation in the UK since 2020 is 40%. So let me check the what is the index of the UK? Is the
Yeah,
what is
I'd
the
believe
index?
that.
Is
But
the FTSE FTSE yes 100 bullshit? So if I look since
wow,
is that
is that a
is that the
meme?
FTSE?
That's a meme
Wow.
stock? There you go. It's Zimbabwe. That's Zimbabwe.
It's funny because I didn't know that the British economy was growing so fast. Anyway, I don't know which data point to take, but I will take December 20. So I will take 6,000, and I will add 40%, and it makes 8,400. So the FTSE is beating the inflation, or maybe the inflation is more than what they say. But 40% in 5 years is already huge of inflation. So they say the inflation is here. Wow. What is going on in the UK? 7.5. 7.5 multiplied by 1.4. Wow. It's almost going fast, better than the S&P.
Yeah, that line that you drew, that parabolic move up, that's not good. That's not good for your economy. That's not healthy at all. That's a meme. That's a
No,
meme.
but on the top of that is not an economic creating job like poverty and job level are not at the. They are not. It's not a boom of the job market.
Well, that's inflation, isn't it?
Wow,
That's inflation.
that's insane.
So, but the S&P 500, that's the main one we should be just watching,
Yes,
because what we're really waiting for here is if the S&P. So this is the story that makes sense to me. This is the story I'm trying to put together. And Bitcoin has 2 or 3 good months, 2 good green candles. The S&P has 2 good green candles.
And everybody collapsed.
And then, yeah, you see? And that's when the new Fed chair comes in. He blames Jerome Powell. That's the story. And then he lowers rates hardcore. And then he kind of fixes the economy. Then they start raising rates. And when they start raising rates, that's basically when the bottom of Bitcoin hits. And this is a story that makes a lot of sense to me when you look at this. And then the S&P finds a bottom in the next 2, 3, 4 months. There's a buy signal there. And then, Bitcoin really just starts maybe hitting the bottom in the next 6 months.
This was just a drop of 20%. It's like if you get a drop of 20%, it's like you're having a free lunch. So it will need to get to 20% done. It will need to go back to 5, 6.
Well,
Wow.
the thing is, the correction, are we going to get like a 2022 grind down like that one, or
Or a fast one?
you see, yeah.
It's
See,
easy to see this one when it goes back fast. It means it's just a short term, like here as well.
yeah. Yeah, so then you see, if you're going to play with the S&P, which is a relatively safe one, you just wait for those red candles to come in, and it might take a few years for one to kick in, but then you'll make enough. You make enough cash by just buying in at that point.
This big red candle is like every 4 years.
Yeah, you can see it. There's quite a few, but we're kind of at a stage where you can see the inflation's really, kicking off. So,
What is the inflation in the US now?
gee, I think they said like the CPI data came out a couple of days ago. It was like 2.5 or something, when in reality it's a lot higher than that.
16%.
But the thing is, this market could just go sideways for the next 3 months, and that will still be bearish. So
Yes, 2.4 is nothing.
and you look at it and you think this thing really does needs to go sideways for a while. Like 2022, we had a good dump for a long time. That was a good dump, but that's a rare one, isn't it? That's rare. You got to go back to the global financial crisis to get another one of those. And it seems like we've already got that out of the way. That's 2022. Then last year we had the big crash. So you look at the chart and you think, maybe just 10% pullback, something like that, and then we skyrocket off again because inflation is just pushing this, and you got nowhere else to hide. That's why people started throwing it into gold. They started throwing it into anything to try to survive. In Australia, they've just released new interest rate saving accounts for 4% or more. So if the interest saving accounts in Australia is 4%, what is the inflation rate?
10.
It's 10. It's 8. It's 7 at best. That's not good. That's really bad. That's really bad. That's really, really bad.
It's bad for those that have a minimum salary, Dave, but if you don't have a minimum salary, you're right.
Well, so that's what we're kind of looking at, and that's my story. That's my take on it. What do you think? You haven't really looked too much at the S&P, so I can get it.
But I think, how to say, except big events, they are protecting the S&P. No, they are protecting even the, how to say, all this stock market. And I don't know if you have followed, but they were talking about the file last week, and a lady, she said, we don't want to have problem. We need the Dow Jones to be above 50,000. So the stock market is more important than the file, which is true for them. And they will do everything to pump the stock market. So yes, a correction of 20% on the S&P or Dow Jones or Nasdaq is like a big privilege.
It'll be devastating.
Except if there is a big recession, but what can bring a big recession? There is no reason to have a big recession. Do you see one?
Yeah.
Except if there is a war. Also, if there is a World War III, there can be a recession. But if there is no World War III,
well, this is the key to what's happening with Iran at the moment, is that there's a massive military buildup, and there's a threat of the Strait of Hormuz being shut down. They're worried about oil. Crude hit the bottom, and crude prices have just started increasing. Now, whenever I look at that, and it's very much surface level stuff, I think that I'm being lied to. And so the only thing that made sense to me was that Iran and the United States, the negotiations were held in Switzerland. So what I think might be happening is that they might be trying to convince Iran to buy US dollars and store those US dollars in Swiss bank accounts. We're going to look out for you. We won't bomb you. Here's our military. If you don't agree to our terms, we will bomb you. And you better start selling oil in US dollars, and you can store it here. The sanctions will be lifted, and we're going to point all of our guns at you to let you know that we're serious about these negotiations. And China has bought less oil from Iran than it has in a very long time. So I suspect that Iran might have capitulated to the pressure to start buying or selling the oil in USD again, or just start doing it. Yeah. And China doesn't want to do that. That's my theory. So it seems like Iran might have capitulated. But the story is that war's about to kick off, the market's about to collapse, fuel prices are about to skyrocket, but the story might just be, hey, look, we'll let you sell oil again. It has to be in USD, and all of these problems go away. And that's the only thing that makes sense to me right now, because none of us know what's really going on behind the scenes, do we? But that's the only thing that makes sense when I look at it. And that means that the United States is out of cash. They don't have the liquidity for a war. They can't afford a war in 2026. We're going into a tightening. We're going into a tightening.
They just can do kidnapping.
Yeah, so they can only do small things, and we're going through a tightening phase. They just can't afford it. And so this makes more sense that they would want to make a deal with Iran at this point. And the rest of the world thinks that we're going to World War III. And what's really going on is that, they're going to start selling oil in USD again, and they're going to be allowed to hold Swiss bank accounts. And if they don't say yes, they get bombed. That's the only.
Yes,
that's the only thing.
If they get bombs, that's not going to convince them to accept. So.
But that's the negotiation tool.
Yes, but
that's the leverage.
The Iranians are already to say they have nothing to lose.
Well, that's the story we've been told. I just don't believe that. I think they have a lot more to lose. I think that they actually have a lot to gain. They want the sanctions lifted, and I think that's the talk, the discussion that's been had. And any sort of skirmish that happens might just be theater to let us think that something happened. And then Iran just basically, because Saudi Arabia doesn't. All of these.
I agree on the fact that for them, that if they sell in USD or yen or Chinese Mumbai or whatever, they don't care. That's not important. Less they have sanctions, better it is. Like their population can live properly and have better life conditions. So yeah, this I agree. They might accept. But if they get bombs, they will not. I don't think they will accept under the blood.
Well, this is where the negotiation comes in, because they won the 12-day war. You see,
Of course.
they won the 12-day war, and now they're threatening to shut off the Strait of Hormuz and give the United States and Israel another 12-day war. And that doesn't help the United States. It doesn't help Israel. And Iran has bought themselves so much leverage that it's possible that the United States is rewarding them with some Swiss bank accounts. That's my take on it.
Oh, we will see. We will see. But if the tension diminish, it will make price of oil, gold, and silver to collapse.
Well, that would be, you see, having the price of fuel dropping, that will help inflation in the United States, and it will hurt Russia's economy, which is what they're trying to do. So that's a story that makes sense to me as well. And allowing Iran to start unloading fuel into the global market to keep the crude prices down, that's a story that makes sense as well. You see how all of these stories make a lot of sense when you put them all together. And the whole idea of a war in Iran just seems like a big theater to me. It seems like a big game for the masses. When
Yes,
something,
it's to scare and this and that.
when the opposite is happening, that they've got some Swiss bank accounts now. That's why they went to, they had the meeting. Sanctions have probably been lifted, but the general public don't know. And
The US has no interest to make the war. It's obvious.
yeah, and Iran shouldn't really either. And so this is the beauty of geopolitics, because Iran and Russia and China have an interest in working together. And now that if Iran was to start selling fuel, oil, crude in US dollars, and that might not work so well for Russia. And so everyone's working in their own best interest. No one country is just, okay, I'm on this side, so I'm going to go sacrifice everything. And this is the game. This is the game. So we could definitely see inflation's, drop, or go sideways. Fuel prices continue to be low. That helps the United States. The United States and Israel don't want to get into a war. That story makes sense as well. So I could see fuel prices dropping again, inflation dropping again, and then
Lowering the rate again.
to try to hurt Russia's economy. And then you could see that makes sense as well. And you can see China not wanting to buy fuel or crude if it has to be in US dollars, so they're going to buy it somewhere else. And that's why the United States went into Venezuela straight after. So China's running out of options, you see, because China's trying to not buy any fuel in US dollars, you see.
Yes, they are getting away of the American.
So you can see it makes sense. And you can see how the world is dividing itself up. And Iran might have just technically, economically sided with the United States, which helps Iran and helps the United States. This is a story that is mutually beneficial for everybody involved except for China and Russia. And Saudi Arabia was in the negotiations as well, trying to help Iran, which most people were like, what? Doesn't make any sense. But now it does make sense if they are selling the crude in USD. And we probably will never get told, because that would make the United States, that would make Iran look bad. You see, they'll probably keep that secret. And then as soon as Trump gets annoyed, he will tweet it out, and then Iran will be pissed again. So you can see how this story could unfold.
It's more complex than what they share in the media, for sure.
Yeah, and so you could tell yourself a story where the S&P will go sideways and maybe pump a little bit before it dumps again, and we get another shock. It just steady it up until the United States can start getting some liquidity in at the moment. They probably need 6 to 12 months before more liquidity ends up in their economy, so that they can, you know, this is why Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. It's when the United States was going through a tightening phase. You see,
They knew.
They knew exactly. They literally launched the war right at the exact point that the United States was going through tightening, and they didn't have any cash to throw at the war. This is why it's been going for such a long time. United States was broke at that point, and now they're at the same point. It doesn't make sense.
They're smart.
But Iran isn't willing to get sucked into a long, protracted war. But if Iran was to play ball, the United States economy would be shockingly in trouble right now. It would be it might even bring forth the beginning of the end of the American empire faster. But it seems
they ruin.
But this is without being in there, without knowing. This is the story that I'll tell myself, looking at whatever information we have, which is very limited. Yeah,
guys, thanks for listening to us today. We're back in track, and some good analysis today, and probably we're gonna continue in the next future. And thanks for Dave and Maria for joining today.
Thank you. Cool.